What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, Redcat just dropped 4 new offerings. This is the Vertex-10 RTR, the Vertex-10W RTR, the Vertex-10 slider, and the Vertex-10W slider. So each one, of course, outfitted slightly differently, but not drastic differences between the sliders and the RTRs beyond the obvious. Now, the Vertex-10 and the 10W, the biggest difference is the W, but that stands for width. The 10W is significantly wider and comes with some larger tires on there. It also comes with a much narrower, super high clearance body in comparison to the standard Vertex-10. These new brushless RTR versions are coming with the Hobbywing brushless Outrunner setup. That's the 10BL60 with the Outrunner motor. Now, those 10BL60 ESCs are rated for up to 4S, which even in RTR form, these are capable of, which is probably one of the first RTRs in this scene to be able to run 4S out of the box. Unless I'm missing, of course, bashers and things like that, but I'm talking specifically like trail trucks, performance, crawling type vehicles in general. Hobbywing released that 10BL80 and Outrunner motor in September of last year, and I don't believe that we've seen it in an RTR up to this point. So this would be the first. These all have a carbon fiber chassis. Interestingly enough, the shape of the chassis on this is a pretty big departure from typical like scale performance trucks. They got rid of the typical like frame rail look and went with more of like a TVP, as we used to call them back in the day, where it doesn't have that same profile. It's a much blockier center section to it. However, this is a forward design and it's got an increased 10-degree brake or skid angle on this. Being a forward bias chassis means that the skid plate is closer to the front axle than it is to the rear axle. The servo on these axles also sits just behind the axle tubes themselves, and the axles feature a double cardan style joint, universal joint in there. So it's got 2 individual joints that allow for a little bit more steering angle. There are some differences between the RTRs and slider as far as things that they're equipped with. The RTRs have lights in the bumper, for example, where the slider version is just a solid bumper. And there's a small number of differences like that between the different SKUs. Now, the price of these ranges from $529 for the 10W RTR down to $369 for the standard Vertex-10 slider version. No wheels, tires, electronics, or painted body. A nice range in there gives you a bunch of different options for all of these. If you're interested in those are available for order now, and I believe that they're already shipping to customers. Another one on the performance truck side, Hobbytech released the CRX3 Mad Perf. We have seen the CRX2 Mad Perf last year, and now we get to see the version 3 of this. Now, this is a limited edition. It's got aluminum portal axles underneath of it, a carbon fiber chassis, unpainted body, and I believe that they're limiting this to 200 units. Now, I'm not sure if that's just the machined axle version or this color of the machined axle version. Hobbytech isn't a brand that we see here in the US hardly ever. It's a French brand, and this version of it is listing for 899 euros or $1,023.93. The front servo situation is very unique. The servo can be mounted in a couple of different ways. One, just standard on top of the axle, but then it's got this large bridge that goes over top of the entire servo where the front upper links mount, giving you this massive front link separation. But it also has another version for where you can put the servo down behind it and it sits perpendicular to the axle shafts. And if you do it that way, it uses a little bit different style link mount. Depending on which way you mount the servo, you have to adjust the way that the tie rod is mounted at the same time. The portal boxes on this are kind of like an old school style where they just go, over top of a standard C-hub, almost like you were adapting it on a standard straight axle version of this. But it's got a compact transmission in the center, again, carbon fiber, and it's got like a rebranded version of the Desert Lizard shocks. These are just called like the Wolf shocks, which the same shocks that they've seen or they've been running on some of the previous versions like the Mad Perf 2 or the CRX2 Mad Perf. This special or limited edition version also comes with like a little carrying bag at the same time. And again, Hobbytech, not a brand we see for sale here in the US, and on the webpage where they announced this, they didn't have a buy it now button either. So I'm not exactly sure how or where you're able to get these yet, but they had posted up on their social media that you could get them, just don't know how. A new release from Scale Garage Systems. This one is for the RC4WD D90, and this is the Safari Rack. Scale Garage Systems uses this mix of laser cut and hand fabricated process to make these very detailed and very cool looking adventure racks and cargo racks and dump truck beds and all kinds of different styles. This Safari Rack now joins those ranks. They're beautiful pieces. You can get them painted or unpainted, powder coated, a number of different options. Scale Garage Systems just does an amazing job with all of their offerings. This one available now, as well as a bunch of other vehicle options. If you've never been over to their website, definitely worth checking out and seeing all of the different ones that they have. It's finally time for me to launch the next build along. This one is going to be a new version of the carbon fiber 911 inspired crawler that Matt and I built back for Sorka Scale Nationals, I believe in like 2023. It's that one that sits right over my shoulder there. It's basically a completely redesigned, updated, just better in every way with processes that we've learned over the years, and super excited for that. Now, I put up a video with all of the details on Monday, and the actual build spots will open up Wednesday, July 15th at 12 noon Pacific time, Los Angeles time zone, if you need to figure out where that correlates to wherever you are. But again, Wednesday, July 15th, 12 noon. If you're interested in that, go watch that video for all of the details and then come join us and build this project right alongside a bunch of us. And if you're in the joining us type of mood, you can join us for channel membership, which is available for this channel. It helps support the channel a little bit extra. There's all kinds of details on it down in the description below. If you've never been down there, there's some interesting stuff, but also it helps support the channel. You get to see videos like this early. You also get additional member only videos. You get some member only lives, as long as I remember to select them as member only and don't just let them roll, which I've done. But again, if you're interested, help me support the channel a little bit extra. Information available down in the description below. Thanks to all the channel members and thanks to everybody who watches any of the videos. This Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, live stream takeover with Matt and I. Come join us for another week of debauchery and ridiculous off-topic topics. Also, I think we're giving something away this week. So a great reason to join this week, especially 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, every single Wednesday forever. And if you work for an RC company like to see any of your products on the Scale News, send me an email to news@harleydesigns.com. Send me a photo, a description, a link to where it can be found. Love to take a look at that, see if we can get it included here on the Scale News. Last week, Vanquish released the new Incision Series 3 light set. Series 3 is the successor to the Series 2, and this one adds another set of rock lights. The Vanquish Products Origin Classic has molded inner fenders front and rear, and those rear inner fenders now have a place for additional rock lights. But the Series 2 only had 2 rock light pods. So the new Series 3 gives you 4 pods, which you can put on every corner of the Origin Classic Pro. But if you have a Fordyce or a Phoenix, anything like that, and you just want to use 2, you can just simply unplug the second pair of rock lights. So still an easy bolt-in option for those other vehicles, but just now gives you the extra pieces in case you've got something like the Origin Classic, or you want to try and adapt this to whatever custom rig that you're building. Last week, Reefs RC announced the RC BEC Slim. This takes off the big old aluminum heatsink that they had surrounding their BECs, and now it's just the bare board in heat shrink. Now, these are not a waterproof version. The standard aluminum cased RC BECs are potted, so those are the waterproof options. You could probably pretty easily waterproof these yourself if you were interested. They are offering these in the standard Easy BEC, and the Dual. So depending on how many servos you're trying to power, the standard version is $39.99, the Dual $64.99. Last week, Upgrade RC, a house brand for A-Main, released a new 2.2 pin tire for performance-oriented crawling. This is the Gecko 2.2, and again, it's a pin style and kind of a chevron pattern. Pin tires, super popular for competition and just competitive or hardline type crawling. The number of pins on this is a obvious candidate for trimming, where people will trim their own pattern into the pins. It's just a very common thing to do, and this one looks like it'll fit right in there with it. There's a number of pin tires on the market, like the Ibex and the huge pins, and a number of them. These, see how they stack up in their super soft compound. For those of you with Project IJ's D1 RC just released a sandblast finish titanium cage that will drop right into your Project IJ. This is for the standard version of the Project IJ, not like the Savage or anything like that, but the most common version at the end. This will just allow you to drop right in and give you that realistic metal style rather than the 3D printed version of the cage. It says that it's made from titanium, not sure of the grade. We've seen other cages from D1 RC in the past, and they've been fairly close to stock geometry, but not always exact. This one's probably a little bit simpler and probably a pretty good candidate to be able to bolt right into your Project IJ. Get ready, Toyota fans, because RC4WD Drive just gave you 3 new body options, all hard bodies. And these are just the body sets, so you can get these individually, not mounted to a truck already. They just dropped the 85 single cab pickup and a number of different accessories or replacement parts for that one, as well as an updated black version of the 4Runner body and a new red extra cab version as well. I can't speak to the accuracy of these Toyota bodies. I don't know enough about that, but the pre-painted versions of these things do seem to take a lot of the, headache out of the hard body world. So go check those out, available over at RC4WD Drive. There will be links to each of those down in the description below and links to all of this week's stories. Last week, Axial dropped a new SCX10 trailer. Unexpected release, I would say. But I guess also at the same time, maybe not. So I ended up getting one of these early, and I put out a video where we were just doing a little bit of trailer racing and trailer backing challenge at the office, and it was a blast. We had a really good time doing that. In the RC world, I'm not a big trailer guy, but it was a lot of fun to have a little bit of a competition with some friends, just seeing who can back up a trailer and who gives the first time at the boat ramp energy, as one of the comments said in my video. I will say we had a blast. We laughed a lot, and I think that it's probably worth bringing it to events just for that purpose alone. Now, the trailer is an all molded design. The wheels themselves spin independently of each other. They're a 155 wheel with a fairly small tire overall. It comes with a drop hitch, an adjustable drop hitch at that. So no matter what the ride height of your vehicle is, you should be able to get that dialed in pretty reasonably. It comes with a mount that goes in the chassis to be able to bolt in that hitch as well, made for SCX10 3s specifically. However, the drop hitch that they have, it goes right into the bumper that was on the Vanquish VS410 Origin. So I was able to just slide that in without having to use the mount, retain my bumper, and be able to tow the trailer around. So it was even easier at that point. The trailer is large enough to carry anything up to like a Helium, which is what Axial showed it with. They also showed it, funny enough, a 110 scale trailer as advertised, but they had the 118 scale UTV on top of it during the video. A little bit confusing there, but it still looked kind of right at home because the UTV 18 is absolutely not 18 scale. So I had dropped an optic on it for our video, and that fit excellent as well. So just about any of our standard scale trucks gonna drop right on there. Rigidity overall, even for being all plastic, pretty decent. But if you haven't seen that video, it's a good time. You can guess who was a trailer guy and who wasn't a trailer guy pretty quickly. But that does it for this week's news topics. For this week's question, go right back to that trailer thing. Are you can you back up a trailer? Do you have the confidence to just back a trailer up first shot? Or are you one of those, like, you know what? You don't do it often enough to just really back that thing up with confidence. Also, not a phrase that I've said on this show before. And if you don't want to admit you're not a trailer guy, I understand. Drop the last power tool that you dropped in the comments instead. Comments help the algorithm out a whole bunch, if you didn't know that. And I also enjoy reading your comments every week. It's my favorite part of the Scale News Update. But that is going to do it for this week. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching every single Tuesday. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're not already. That also helps the channel out a whole bunch. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Channel membership's also available.